Hey, guys, this is the final video, favorite species. This will have my top 10 favorites. So these are very special to me. So be warned, it's very biased. I'll quit yapping and let's start. At the 10th spot we have Akorbik. The reason why I have it at 10 is because it's my birth month species. And if you forgot, November is my birth month. And Akorbik is November's monthly mission creature. It's also fun to play as, because I like playing as smaller creatures, and it's also good for defending itself, so it's worth playing. But that's all I have to say for Akorbik. So on to number 9. Oh look, Aurora Borealis. So for number 9 we have Arachyu. But it's dead. It got killed by a reviation. So, a moment of silence for my dead lobster. So anyways, I made a baby slot, and the reason as to why it's my 9th favorite is because it's really cool, and it's a lobster. It's also really good for PvP, because it's tanky and can kill mostly everything else. Also, let how good it is at darting, like it's fast for its size. But yeah, it's just fun to kill people with, and it's fun to make skins with. However, it does take a long time to grow, but that's its only bad thing in my opinion. But let's move on. Next, we have Warden. This is basically the boreal warden of the sea, and it's really fun to play as, because who is going to mess around with giant Juma? The only things that would try to kill you are people who are actually good at PvP or use overpowered things. It's also my very first warden, so it's very special to me. It's basically lobster but fish, so that's why it's close with Arachyu. So let's continue with our rankings. For 7th place, we have Toar. I know it's weird to have this after Nemo, but I have a good reason. It's because it's one of the most expensive things I've bought, but it isn't the most expensive thing I own. I've also been able to make 2 great skins for it. The first one I call Blood Moon, which was the first skin, and the second is just a bone variant of it. A few downsides to it is that it's a major glass cannon. It does do a lot of damage, but it has very low health. But at least, it doesn't take that long to grow. I'd also say it's very fun to play as, and it just has a cool design which I appreciate. And I don't have more to say, so moving on. At 6 is Oxidus. It's at 6th because I use it more than the other creatures I just listed. I also just like its design, and I think it looks cool. It's also my 2nd event species, and I used it a ton when I got it. And I've killed so many people as it. So it's in 6th because it's cool looking, strong, and also pretty tanky in my opinion. So that's all pretty short. And for our 5th creature we have Scalderouge. It's here because it's a really cool design, and it's actually really overpowered. I've also killed a ton of people with it, because of how good it is. And I've also been able to make really cool skins for it. But that's all for number 5, on to number 4. And for 4, we have Ouratum. From the land, sea, sky event. I made a really good skin for it, and even incorporated my eye color, which is blue to the skin, which makes me even more happy. And when playing as if it's sort of a glass cannon, it has low health, but also deals normal damage. But it does deal a ton of bleed, so that helps it PvP wise. And it's also one of the fastest growing tier 4 creatures in the game, so it's really useful for growing missions, or if you want to nest, but need to grow first. And overall, it's number 4 because of how useful it is, and because I just like its design more than the numbers below it. Now on to our top 3 species. You know, the list isn't completed without Caldonterrus, which is my 3rd favorite creature in the game. It's the mascot of the channel, so it of course needs to have a high ranking, and it is one of the most powerful creatures in the game, probably tied with Boreal Warden as it can kill it, but just barely. And I've made a bunch of cool skins for it, such as a nice mountain, or a bone creature pouring blood, and then the skin on screen is a nice sunset-like skin, but I don't know what to call it. But I just like Caldonterrus in general. It makes me feel like I have power. Now on to number 2. Here is Arkmetta. I made 2 skins, one is called Beach Day, and the other was my very first skin that I saved. But going on to playing as it, I think it's a literal living tank, because of its high HP and its defensive ailments. And it literally has Hunker, which decreases the amount of damage you and the opposing threat deals to you. So it's very good for defensive PvP. I also just have a soft spot for cool bug species in this game, which is why some are high on the ranks on my favorite list. But now, let's get on to number 1. Now, here is number 1. Drum roll please. It's my Jusuma. It's my second most expensive thing, probably behind Caldonterrus, and it's also pretty strong. I've killed probably about 30 people before dying and having to revive it. And like I said, it's strong. And it's not number 1 because it's expensive, it's because I really like its design. And I also have made a ton of nice coral skins for it. And it's a dinosaur and I like dinosaurs more than bugs. So that's why it's number 1. Anyways, if you liked the video, make sure to like it, and if you're not subscribed, make sure to. And I'll see y'all in the next video.